Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for March 27th, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 86. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the sentient AI from the future, well, we talk about 10 articles. First article is Honda's Dangle, Robin Hood delivers, Fire Resilient Community, PAX Australia, Apple CarPlay should copy Android, Tequila Ocho Old Barrel. How about Rivian Micromobility and a dog-inspired robot? And there's another dog-inspired robot already, but anyway. How about fighting bacteria? Put up your dukes. And a new sci-fi movie that copies Scott. Who's Scott? Anything. Everything and anything, I guess, is over at ohmtown.com. So go over and become a citizen. Follow us here on Twitch and here on YouTube. We got two different monitors pointing at two different things. And I think that everything is wonky still. I don't, this doesn't feel right. I need to be over there.
Right, if you were pointing the other way, but they were in the other spot, then it would work.
Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking near you.
No, you're looking away from me.
I'm looking away from you. I've turned my back on the sentient AI. Boo. All right. Well, like I said, I'm Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com. The sentient AI tries to keep me in line. Rarely happens. Tries to keep me on track. Sometimes happens. Anyway, let's get going. Sound good? Let's check out Honda's Dangle. You want to see Honda's Dangle? Just say no.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Here. Hold on. All right. Well, anyway. So, and to find out what I just did, all you podcast listeners are going to have to go over to either Twitch or YouTube and check out the March 27th episode of Non Sequitur News. All right. Or you're listening now. You could be listening to this live, large, and in charge. Maybe not. All right. Well, anyway, Honda dangles a couple of 2026 passports from a crane to show off how beefy the recovery hooks are. You might assume recovery hooks are straightforward, but Honda had to strike a balance between strength and safety on the new 2026 passport. The article is by Aaron Marquis over at jalopnik.com. And there it is. There's an actual video of this. Basically, it's this big crane with two Honda Passport Trail Sports hanging from a recovery point of another Honda Passport Trail. So there's Honda's Dangle.
Does that kind of remind you of the school bus measurements?
Yeah. So this crane is 3 Honda Passport Trail Sports. Is it a surveillance Honda Passport Trail Sport?
I don't know. Nobody should try to shoot it down when it floats overhead.
Yeah, same with aliens. If you see an alien, don't shoot at it. Okay, we don't want an international crisis or an interplanetary crisis, let alone an international.
Exactly.
So it's probably become quite clear how the brand was going to celebrate its first pair, in the context of Honda's Dangle, the first pair of exposed tow hooks on a truck. Hook 3 of the SUV together and dangle them like fishing lures over the brand's proving grounds in Cantil, California. It's a no-brainer. Honda drained 3 Passport Trail Sports of their life-giving fluids and stuck the transmissions into neutral. Safety first, kids. Before the attempt, but everything else about the cars was stock Honda design. So there's a video of it. It's over on the YouTubes. You can go over and check that out. But if you want today's articles, oh no, yeah, I did it. Okay, hold on. You can hit !NSN and Omatron will spit the articles out in the order that we're going over them. There is no particular order to this.
Yes, that's clear.
Oh, Very nice. Touche. So, due to the critical role they play, the recovery hooks are installed at our Alabama auto plant with unique torque tools rather than manual or pneumatic tools, which helps associates install the recovery points on the precise specifications. Do you think it might be a side gig for the bolt installer for Boeing door panels?
Oh, yeah, it might be. Hopefully they weren't on vacation.
As long as they don't go on vacation. Anyway, I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know how big these are. I might have to go and check out a Honda Passport Trail Sport to see. Because I'm looking for a new car kind of thing. We'll see. I don't know. Probably not. It's not worth the search, I guess. I don't know. In this economy, are you kidding me? All right, let's keep going. Next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Now Robinhood says it'll deliver cash to your door. Robinhood plans to launch online banking, which it says will include perks like home cash deliveries. The service will offer a 4% annual interest rate, which is spectacular. Robinhood said in its announcement, it's going to be launching a wealth management platform and AI investment tools. We're screwed.
I don't really get this like door-to-door thing. I mean, are they going to have like armored trucks?
Or you have to sign off that it's a risk you'll have to take if that person gets jacked in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they're not going to have like Robin Hood vehicles or uniforms or whatever. Like this could be kind of a problem.
Yeah, so if you have an investment account over at Robinhood, now you can exfiltrate some of your cash and have it delivered like so much of an Uber or DoorDash. Hopefully it doesn't get delivered into some robber's hands. Do you think the people that are going to deliver it are like college kids who don't really give a shit about getting robbed and they're like, here's my money, bye?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm less worried about the cash than the delivery drivers.
Yeah, you got to worry about them. Although, rise of the sociopath. So, Nora Redmond over at BusinessInsider.com put the article together. 4% annual interest rate on the account. That's like 4% higher than
sticking it in your drawer.
Or a bank.
Right.
Yeah. So, in the announcement, the California headquartered financial technology company outlined a number of incentives that will be offered to Robinhood banking, including cash delivery. I can't believe anybody would be interested in that. Hey, I need to take $20 out.
Well, right. I guess it's like a mobile ATM.
The service offers a 4% annual interest rate and deposit insurance up to $2.5 million via FDIC. $2.5 million? That's the most I've ever heard.
Right. I thought it was normally $250,000, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll offer international transfers to over 100 currencies and whole family accounts for partners and children. Wow. Pushing the boundaries indeed. The fintech firm's gold membership costs $5 monthly and $50 annually and gives users access to Robinhood's premium features. Perks include IRA matches and options of margin trading. Be careful of that. So they say the management fee for, I guess, the wealth management side of things is going to be a service fee of 2.5% of the assets under management a year. Robinhood Gold members will pay management fees on $100,000 of assets in their accounts, which is anybody who's using Robinhood is probably already at that. If you're going to be using it for that level of stuff,
Right. Plus, there's also chances to get tickets to kind of high demand events. That might be worth it right there.
Yeah. Everybody that runs ohmTown, though, doesn't have to worry about that stuff. We're stuck inside, is what I'm saying. Anyway, let's keep moving. The next article is over on the Hatch Ideas channel. KB Home unveils its first fire-resilient community in Southern California. I suspect that this is the Three Little Pigs model.
Yes. This is also like how to announce none of your homes have been fire safe previously.
Touche, yet again. So, yeah. how to say our houses burn down fast without saying our houses burn down fast. So the KB Home is the first large production builder to unveil a community designed to fire resilient standards by the Insurance Institute for Business and Fire Safety. You know how you make your house fire proof? Yeah, 3D printed out of cement.
Aha.
But I don't think that that's what's going on here. Because regardless of what's going on outside or inside. Okay, that's fascinating. That is really fascinating. Anyway, Diana Olick over at CNBC put this article together. The key points that they so nicely put together at the top of their page is California-based KB Home is unveiling what it's calling the first wildfire resilient community, meeting standards that protect the homes against the three major sources of ignition during a wildfire. So keeping electrical power lines way away, I suppose.
Right, probably so, and probably shrubbery away from the home, although maybe, I don't know if that's involved in their plan.
I think you have to say that like a Monty Python actor again. A shrubbery. As climate change causes more severe drought in more areas of the country, focus shifting on fire-resilient homes and communities. Like I said, 3D print it and you're golden. Your walls will not catch on fire. Your roof will not catch on fire if you make it out of metal, too. Hey, look at that.
True, but it might be a little warm.
That's what insulation is for. Air conditioning is for. So the homes range from $1 million to the low millions, which, what does that mean? How about 1 million and up?
I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean like single digit millions, or does that mean like 2 million? I don't know.
Which tends to be a move up price in the area of Escondido, just outside San Diego. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, the development in Escondido, just outside San Diego, will have 64 single-family homes when completed, and all meet the wildfire resilience standards developed by the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety, the IBHS, which irritable.
Yeah, that does sound like that. Like, I don't think companies always think about their acronyms and abbreviations.
So it's a nonprofit scientific research and communications organization supported by property insurance or insurers. These standards are designed to protect the home against the three major sources of ignition during a wildfire. Wait, ignition during a wildfire? Oh, flying embers, flames, and radiant heat. So that's why I say it doesn't matter what's inside these walls. If it's timber, it can ignite because of the heat itself. It'll smolder, eventually catch fire.
Right.
Anyway, Regional General Manager of KB Home Coastal Division said that he and his colleagues saw a fire-resistant home demonstration by IBHS at the Pacific Coast Builders Conference last summer and were impressed by the opportunity that this type of community presented. So that's what they did. They're building it. Yeah, so one of the things that I have said time and time again is you got to get rid of the shrubbery around the perimeter of the house.
Exactly, like clear the whole land.
Yep. No external facing wooden anything. No wood beams anywhere near it. And you have to protect the gas line on the side. So hopefully the gas line is underneath. There's always a meter on the outside, so you got to protect that in some way. So that's what that perimeter is for. So pretty neat. I'm glad that they're doing it. The people in Hawaii who didn't have their houses burned down basically followed that right there. That there was a path around it that was nothing more than gravel or rocks, and their houses didn't burn down. So good on them. Anyway, the subdivision is built by KB Home, really a test bed to show the resiliency part and demonstrate it. They know that KB Home already has 2 other projects there in Escondido looking at duplexes and other kinds of townhomes. And they imagine that other builders are going to be quickly following suit. Yeah, the whole acceptability of this, if you have the gravel around the house, at some point society just buys into it. It just needs to be accepted.
Yeah, it's like things haven't really caught up to what we need. It's not all about aesthetics. It's, maybe not wanting your house to burn down.
And it can still be aesthetically delivered. So I agree. It's when you say it's not about aesthetics, people are going to have to buy into it. And cultural norms have changed year after year, you know. It all depends on the society at large. Let's keep going, though. The next article is over in WarCrafters. Tickets for PAX Australia 2025 are on sale now, scheduled to take over the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Center, from October 10th and 12th to the 12th. PAX Australia 2025 will perch at the tail. What the heck am I? Interesting. Sorry about that. So tickets are on sale now. Apparently more than half of the 3-day badges have already been sold. The article is over at pcgamer.com. Jody McGregor put the article together. It'll run for 3 days from October 10th to 12th, where you too can dress up as a neon orange or yellow stormtrooper. That's what the picture is on the thing. Anyway, last year's PAX Australia played host to Cult of the Lamb themed weddings, a Medusa-shaped gaming PC that doubled as a commentary on AI, and a memer shooter, a sequel 420 Blaze It 2. Who knows what 2025's edition will bring? Maybe the AI back.
Yeah, you know, I try to make an appearance once in a while.
Every once in a while. Is your visualizer still working?
No.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it was just kind of lagged or something.
Weird. I don't know what's going on. Pardon me. So the banners at PAX Australia traditionally say "Welcome Home," a tagline for the event that sums up its hospitality or its hospitable vibe. 1 second.
Everything is going haywire in hometown today.
Yeah, production value at an all-time high. So anyway, let's jump to it. Tickets are available online. It'll be tough to top Valve showing up to reveal the long-awaited Australian launch of the Steam Deck, but it'll be interesting to see what they've got planned. Banners at PAX Australia traditionally say "Welcome Home," something about their hospitality vibe, and another 3 days of playing indie or hospitable vibe. There's whatever. I don't know.
It seems like it should be hospitality.
Yeah. Well, anyway, another 3 days of playing indie games at the PAX Rising booths and racing from panel to panel, with maybe a moment to chill out at the Paint and Take Minis table. Sounds like an excellent time. I don't know, anytime you can play games all day is
that fun. For figures?
Yeah. Minis. But, or you can apparently dress up as a neon orange or yellow stormtrooper.
Yeah, I mean, that's fun.
All right, let's keep going. That is stormtroopers. Yeah, it is. I mean, with whatchamacallit.
But which climate? You know, that's like when you see the different variations, but I've never seen the neon ones.
Layering. Oh, yeah, what is that? Where would that be?
That's like tropical stormtroopers or something. I don't know.
Oh my god, tropical stormtroopers. Tropical storm troopers. Tropical storm.
There you go.
Wow. So the next article is over in the Wanted channel. Apple CarPlay should copy Android Auto's push for more car control right now. Drivers with Android phones are beginning to see Android Auto 14 roll out. The real story is that Google has been experimenting with behind the scenes. And in a recent APK teardown by Android Authority, they learned that Google is working on climate control support, meaning that in the future, users you'll be able to adjust air conditioning, window defrosting, and even heating their seats from the same place that they normally control Spotify and Google Maps.
That seems efficient, but kind of scary.
Well, apparently in Europe, there's a big push to move away from all of the stuff. All of the
like no infotainment systems.
Yeah, and it's just your phone, and you click it in place, and you're done, and it links up, and everything, all the telemetry and controls are on the phone.
That sounds nice in theory.
Yeah, I love the idea of this. So this is what I've always wanted. You know, 30 years ago, when cell phones were basically new beasts. I don't know how long ago. It's been a long time. I'm getting old. But anyway, even the car that I designed had nothing more than you lock a computer in place and you can take it with you. And then without that thing, you can't steal the car. You have to have the one that's linked up with your vehicle. So anyway, it was a great idea, I thought. So Roger Fingus over at pocket-lint.com, whoever it is that owns pocket-lint.com, please give that to them.
That would make Mayor Watt very happy.
Yeah. So there's no sign of this coming to Apple CarPlay anytime soon, but they are saying, pocket-lint.com is saying, and again, Roger Fingus says, Apple should definitely make this all a functional thing for the Apple ecosystem as well. And I agree. I want to be able to control my car via my phone. We're not talking self-driving and all of that kind of stuff, but just all of the doodads and whatnot.
Yeah, we're not ready for that.
Allow me to tap into the radio if I don't play something off of my phone. Just have the equipment in there, and I can just tap into the software-defined radio and dial in whatever station I want. Because I don't need all of this. All of this doesn't mean anything to me. It's really cool, but I'm not looking at all of this.
Right, I'm looking at that. You're looking at is the tablet or whatever.
Right. Just give me a spot for it. So, Ghost of Next Gen CarPlay, the revolution will be postponed. I don't know if this is a different article. Almost feels like it. If nothing else, Apple may be forced to admit that it's a little too ambitious when it announced the next-gen CarPlay in 2022. Whenever it gets here, the idea is that CarPlay will be able to take over every screen in compatible device or vehicles, including, but not...
Oh, I see. There's a critter.
Oh, no. Oh, God, not again. All right. Well, anyway, there's no sign that the next-gen platform will launch anytime soon, so here's to hoping that they'll actually remedy this and get it all out there. I won't be able to fix that anytime soon. Little demon is in here. Let's keep going. The next article is in the Order of the Grape channel over at ohmtown.com. It's typically for wine fans, but this is because it's sourced from vinepair.com. So on Tuesday, Tequila Ocho announced that it'll release two... Oh, wait. The title of this is Tequila Ocho announces new añejo expression aged in rare old Fitzgerald barrels. What is an old Fitzgerald barrel?
Old Fitzgerald was a brand. I think old is part of the name.
Yeah, it is. Old Fitzgerald. So on Tuesday, Tequila... Old Fitzgerald barrels. Yeah, so... I gave it the title Tequila Ocho Old Barrel. So the powerhouse beverage brands teamed up to craft two 2023 vintages of Tequila Ocho Añejo Barrel Select Old Fitzgerald. It's a hell of a name.
What do you think they do with that on the packaging? Does it wrap around the bottle multiple times?
It does twice, yeah. I think that I'm going to have to grab your Raspberry Pi and take you over to the nearest liquor store and see if we can find the longest name in a tequila bottle I've ever seen.
And we can report back in ohmTown.
Yes, we'll show you what it looks like in the real world, I guess, if they have it. So tequilas were produced from fields overseen by the Camarena family, featuring two microclimates that produce agaves with distinct flavor profiles. One of the expressions is made with plants harvested from the deep clay-like soil of Rancho Corralitos, which lies at low altitude, while the other is sourced from a different temperament. Hannah Staub over at vinepair.com put the article together. That's what it looks like.
I don't see enough words on there.
Yeah, they break it down a little bit. Hold on. Let's see if I can find... It's called Tequila Ocho. So Tequila Ocho. I don't know where the añejo is. Is that it?
Yeah,
that looks like it.
Well enough.
Añejo. Barrel Select Old Fitzgerald. So that's right there. Barrel Select Old Fitzgerald. So it takes up the whole label. Both liquids were aged for 12 months in recently emptied barrels that previously held Old Fitzgerald Prize 10-year-old Spring 2023 Decanter Series. Weeded
They
bourbon.
need to throw all that on the label too.
I'm sure it is on the back label, and were bottled at 96 proof. According to the brand, the barrels impart soft notes of toasted coconut, maple syrup, toffee, and cacao. Oh my.
Yay, the microphone's back.
I'll be in my... No, never mind. So the tequilas will be offered for a suggested retail price of $110 per 750 milliliter bottle, which, if I were to buy that bottle for $110 today, the daily operating existence of that bottle before it's empty would probably be 1 penny, because I would never get through 750 milliliters of...
Exactly.
At least not on my own.
The cost per serving would be quite low.
Yeah, I'd be having to take that thing to parties. Although, in my lifetime, I have had somebody bring a bottle for themselves to a party. Actually, it was vodka in one hand and orange juice in the other hand, and they would pour both into their mouth periodically. And then...
I guess that's efficient.
Yeah. And they would offer it to other people, and nobody would really take her up on it. And then, after the place had been shut down... Did you see something?
I saw a wild critter. And lots of detail.
So after everybody had left and people who were staying the night had crashed on couches and floors and whatever else, this person comes barreling out of a room screaming, "You know what I need right now? You know what I need?" And I just spontaneously belted out, "Some effing peace and quiet." So yeah. Man, I want to scream based on an email that I just got. But anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over in 4Wheel Tech. Rivian launches micromobility startup called Also. First product will be an e-bike.
Wait, also,
No.
What's the also?
No.
What's the other information?
Just Also. Just Also. Not something else. Just Also. Got it?
Not really, but okay.
I also want an e-bike. What the heck? Sorry. So Rivian's new micromobility spinoff is potentially a great idea with a terrible name. Oh, they even call it out. Jalopnik.
Okay, that was the author, not us.
Yeah. Ryan Eric King, the author of this article, over at jalopnik.com, put this article together. It says Rivian stated that Also deserved independence to be optimized around different products, brand positioning, and markets. That does make sense to some degree, with Rivian currently producing large trucks and also developing e-bikes. All right. So it says, however,
confused by the Also, but okay.
I don't get it either. So does it say something up here in the top? No. They've been quietly developing e-bikes for years, but I guess they're spinning it off. Rivian isn't the first car company to build a bicycle. Cycles Peugeot did that too, but we already talked a couple of days ago about the fact that Ford has an e-bike.
Ford Bronco, yes. And
Ford Bronco e-bike.
Pedigo.
Yeah.
I just figured out why they're all making bikes.
Why?
The price of cars is so expensive that now they're going to put the e-bikes out there for like, whatever, $20,000 or something. And people are going to be like, it's a bargain.
Sounds like a good deal. So while micromobility is a term that emerged during the first decade or the last decade, Rivian is far from the first car manufacturer to be building bicycles. Peugeot did it back in 1882, but it wasn't an e-bike, I don't think. Although the first...
Yeah, but I'm not sure that really counts, because wasn't that like pre-automobile?
No. 1882?
Oh, okay.
There were cars. There was actually an electric car in the late 1800s. Let me see.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that far back.
So the first car, 1885, I guess. The first practical automobile widely credited as the first car is the Benz patent motor wagon, built by Carl Benz in 1885. So I don't know what this is all about. Was it cycles first, and then it pivoted
Like, I
into
feel
cars?
like yeah, and that's why I think that's a little different.
It's the other way around. Interesting. But here, let me do a quick search. So the first electric car was made by a German engineer named Andre Flocken, and it's the Flocken Electrowagon, 1888.
The name sounds funny.
It basically had a giant tray in the back under a two-seater of lead acid batteries. It's the same kind of stuff that we use today. Maybe slightly different chemistry, but whatever. So there you go, folks. More e-bikes are going to be out on the road just in time for, depending on which technology wins, the self-driving technology wars based on Mark Rober's video or LiDAR, right?
Oh,
Computer,
right. Mm-hmm.
Camera or LiDAR. There's a whole conspiracy theory about all of that stuff now, too. I don't know how that's going to shake out, but anyway. So you get to choose which type of computer vision is going to run you over on your e-bike because it gets blinded by either other LiDAR or a bright light.
I'm not sure either of that sounds good.
Yeah, the argument for computer vision on cars is that humans don't use LiDAR, so why should a car use LiDAR? To which I say, we apparently have better observation skills than a computer that doesn't know that a bright light needs to shield. You need to shield yourself from the bright light. Slow down, stop.
You know, maybe we could improve, so like it could be better than human vision.
Correct. I would rather have better than computer vision. Use all of the technology. If it's a bright light, then automatically switch to something that doesn't get obstructed by just plain visible light.
Exactly.
Thermal vision. Oh my God, we're going to create a predator type of vehicle. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. Scientists develop dog-inspired robot that runs without motors. I don't even know how this one's going to actually work. Scientists from TU Delft and EPFL have created a quadruped robot capable of running like a dog without the need for motors. This achievement, a product of combining innovative mechanics with data-driven technology. See, I'm much better at speaking when I'm not speech jamming myself.
That's really odd how that is. I mean, I think isn't the case for everybody?
I don't know. I've seen some public speakers that bumble fart their way through public discourse and shouldn't be public speaking. That doesn't mean
they're a good speaker, though.
They're speech jamming themselves. So anyway, it was all published in Nature Machine Intelligence and could pave the way for energy-efficient robotics. I'm really curious what this robot does. Is it using, like, rubber bands or something? Delft University of Technology. Scientists from blah, blah, blah. Okay. It was published in Nature Machine Intelligence. Commercial quadruped robots are becoming more common, but their energy inefficiency limits their operating time. Here, let me zoom in a little bit. He shows a video of fish swimming against the current to avoid being carried away, a seemingly ordinary scene until he reveals that the fish is, in fact, deceased. It's met its maker. So a seemingly ordinary scene. So passive mechanics of its body, not as any conscious effort. This highlights how optimized mechanics alone can drive efficient motion. What?
Yeah, I don't... It says it has cables, springs, and tandems, which I'm not sure what those are.
Oh. Yeah, when one thing goes one way, the other thing goes the other way, and then when it switches gears, it goes the other way, and it's basically kinetic energy, turning it into potential and then back into kinetic energy. They employed machine learning tools to analyze their movement and guide the arrangement of springs, cables, and tandems in the robot's structure. As a result, the robot can walk on a treadmill and adapt to varying speeds, driven entirely by the treadmill's push and without motors. Now, hold on. This person, Theo Jansen, you should look this up. Theo Jansen's Wind-Powered Sculptures. It's a New Yorker article, but it's published a video over on YouTube. They're called Strand Beasts. STRANDBEESTS. I'm waiting for the
You can
audio.
find them on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, just do a search for Strand Beasts. They are powered by the wind. This is basically requiring it to be in motion, and the effort it takes to almost fall down leads it to keep on walking.
So it's like a perpetual motion machine.
Seems like it, but eventually it will have to stop. That's why they put it on a treadmill, because it doesn't ever stop.
Oh, I see. Right. That'll keep it going if it's going at the right speed or whatever.
The treadmill's push on the feet keep it in motion, but as soon as it stops, you stop. It stops. So they say while the robot operates passively, the researchers also equipped it with motors to add functionality. The motors allow the robot to react to challenges like climbing steps or avoiding obstacles. However, the motor's use is minimized thanks to the robot's optimized mechanical design. So they've added some motor, some power, so that it can keep on moving. But simply by moving, it's almost falling over, and it keeps on powering itself. Just enough.
That's really interesting.
Oomph. So, but it's really just this, loading up the springs, and then the tandems flip the other way. I'm imagining. I may not be. I'm inferring from the design description.
Extrapolating from incomplete information.
Yeah, well, there are two types of people in the world. Those who can extrapolate from incomplete data. And the next article is over in the Mobile channel. Fighting bacteria with viruses, important step to treating antibiotic-resistant infections. It's almost like they're going to tell us that they can infect a bacteria with a virus to amplify the effects of the immune system. New insights into a friendly virus could pave the way for cutting-edge treatments for potentially fatal superbug C. diff. Have been uncovered by University of Sheffield scientists.
Bad.
University of Sheffield put the article together. It's over at phys.org. I will not be able to use that new mic until I figure out how to stop that loop, but I don't know how. Anyway, so the scientists have discovered how a spider-like virus can break through the armor of C. diff to infect the superbug, which is known to rapidly evolve resistance to antibiotics. The friendly viruses, known as bacteriophages or phages, are viruses that selectively target and kill their host bacteria, playing a crucial role in regulating bacterial populations and influencing microbial ecosystems. So, as long as there's no genetic wobble causing the virus to basically kill the host and not just inject its contents.
Right, but how can you prevent any wobble?
You can't. At some point, somebody's going to get a weird reaction to it. But it's going to be few and far between. But everybody has some risk, regardless of the medication. At some point, you know, we all have biological systems that change over time. So, I mean, I know people, well, for instance, I never got heartburn until I got older. Right? So we change over time. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people don't have a static chemistry.
Yeah. But maybe we can deal with the virus a whole lot easier than we can with the bacteria. So they send in the virus to inject its icky into the bacteria, and then we kill off the virus that doesn't kill off the icky.
Doesn't this sound like the nursery rhyme about the fly?
Correct. And by the time the house is on fire, you go, you know what? I probably shouldn't send in what was the first thing?
Spider, maybe?
The spider to catch the fly, right? And then
Right. I don't know what
I
after
don't know.
that.
Hold on. What? I need to find it. I need closure. Yeah, the old lady that swallowed the fly, and then they swallowed a. Hold on. Oh, oh gosh. I know an old lady who she swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. And then she said swallowed a spider, and then a bird.
There's a bird and a cat and a dog.
The hell? This
cow.
woman needs a new diet. Oh my god, it's
Horse.
really, really long.
Yeah.
Wow, a rhinoceros. I know an old lady who swallowed a rhinoceros. Isn't that preposterous? It's a rhyming song. So anyway, so we're going to swallow a bacteriophage that's going to infect a virus. No, it's a virus, a bacteriophage that's going to infect a host bacteria that's going to die because of the virus. So how do we kill the virus? Using the university's own high-resolution electron microscope, the team were able to study the phage in atomic detail for the first time, and they found that the phage acts like a tiny syringe, and that this syringe has a more compact needle tip and reduced contraction compared to all other phages studied to date, features that look to be uniquely suited to infect C. diff. The research is published in Life Science Alliance. They actually have a video of this. I'll play it, why not? So I guess this is it. Animation representing the morphing of the extended phage tail to the final contracted form. Because basically it's like a plunger. And it has little legs. They show it up here. So it has little legs and it can crawl around on the bacteria or whatever, the cell. And then it plunges down. And in the top of this is the DNA, and that payload gets injected into.
Oh, right. Okay, yes.
And then the processes of the cells that it infects basically reproduce it, whatever it is that payload is, and off it goes. Hello, pop-up. So phages are great promise to use as novel antibiotics and form a part of a rapidly growing area of research. They actually make a link to it, but I can't see it because it's below the fold. Anyway, so seems like a great idea until it's not. So more research, please. Thank you very much. Want to go on to the last article for today?
I think we should. I thought you were going back to the homepage based on something you said.
Yeah, I don't know. So the last article for today, and today is March 27th, 2025. Oh, and this is Non Sequitur News, just in case y'all forgot. Isa Gonzalez's, which I must be pronouncing it wrong. Anyway, new sci-fi movie copies Ridley Scott's controversial $403 million Alien prequel. The following contains spoilers for Ash.
Did it cost $403 million for the copy?
So I'm going to put the spoiler alert on there. I probably won't be spoiled by this. Even when I do watch it, I'll go, oh, that's so cool. Although, just recently watched the ending of Castle.
The ending was kind of, meh.
Yeah, they should have stopped before the actual ending. But I think I don't know. I'm going to have to, for continuity report, maybe we can look into it a little bit and see why they did that. But I don't know. So, yeah, Ash does a lot of the same things that Ridley Scott attempted in his contentious $403 million Alien prequel, Prometheus. Directed by Flying Lotus, Ash is a horror sci-fi hybrid that focuses on Isa Gonzalez's Raya, one of the only apparent survivors of a mysterious event at a terraforming station in deep space. Much of the film is carried by Raya, who struggles to regain her full memories of the event while also wrestling with whether to trust Ash's other main character, Brian, another survivor who is committed to them escaping. But it says only apparent survivors so plural. You can easily leave off that plural there and think that the only real...
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, we have the spoiler alert up, just so y'all know that if we talk about this, you have been warned. So Brandon Zachary over at ScreenRant.com put the article together. Ash's ending for Isa Gonzalez's Raya is similar to Shaw's ending in Prometheus. Raya and Shaw go through very similar traumas.
Definitely spoiler alert here.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, wow. You did some quick research on that other question, didn't you?
I'm just
it's always been the core of Alien.
Continuity report.
Yeah, which is this weekend, Saturday. It's number 3 of our 3 on Saturday shows. So we do Reality Hacker, then Wanted, and then the Continuity Report. So Reality Hacker is about science and technology being able to manipulate the world around you. Wanted is about gadgets and gear, and then the Continuity Report is all about entertainment. So they say both Ash and Prometheus build off the horror of an alien parasite infecting someone and transforming them. And then it says that Ash feels a lot like an Alien movie, even if it isn't. Ash shares a lot of visual elements and tonal aspects with the Alien franchise because it's dark and brooding and with a scary monster that might be unknown or has been infecting somebody.
Like, I'm not sure that's enough of a connection.
There has to be a trope list. Like every movie that has an alien monster is like this. You know, it's not some overt whatever. So there's like 2 classifications. There's a secret undercurrent monster that's swimming around in people or is behind the scenes infecting people, like The Thing, or it's an overt alien creature like Predator. And it's...
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, there's definitely that dichotomy.
Bifurcated like that, yeah. And the one that crosses over is really Alien because it's something that invades the human host, but only for a short period. Then it does a chest burster and everybody suffers. Well, anyway, so Raya has some connections to Shaw from Prometheus, the last surviving scientist in the crew who was forced to put down her, they say lover, which I've always had a hard time saying out loud. It's the only time that I've ever heard it in a way where it hasn't been saccharine.
Cringy?
Is Dermot Kennedy. And even then, they say it, and it's just a little too saccharine for me. Anyway, if you've never heard of Dermot Kennedy, go check him out. I was going to say something really not correct, but anyway. What makes Ash stand out from other films that have taken a clear inspiration from the Alien movies is the way that it crystallized the human core of the character. Raya's horror and grief propels the film in a way that sometimes emotionally cold Alien films don't, even as Ash takes clear inspiration from films like Prometheus and Alien. I was not a fan of Prometheus, honestly. The Isa Gonzalez-led sci-fi feels like a uniquely human response to that genre. So we're going to have to put that on the list. And
yeah, and I can't remember. We had another article that talked about Prometheus, I think, and I can't remember which person was behind it. Like, there was a lot of controversy concerning which director, right, had which movie and what the style was and all that.
So there you go, folks. You have an assignment. You have some homework. Go hunt down what was so contentious about Prometheus. And we'll talk about it sometime, I don't know, in the near future. No promises, but you know what I can promise? That once we are infected, we will be compelled to return to the front page of ohmtown.com, where you should go and become a citizen. And I'm going to remove the spoiler alert and put on the overshare alert. No, just kidding. There's no overshare. Go over and become a citizen of ohmTown. That would help immensely. Be sure to download and leave a 5-star review for the podcast and follow us over on the Patreon. Right now, we're just looking for people to support us on Patreon by just signing up and following us. And there's always Twitch, and there's YouTube, and the Discord, and I don't know, maybe I'll start up a email list where I send out all of the submissions in an email. Could do that.
We could do that, or we could put them in Patreon.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We could put them in Patreon. Why don't you all go over to Patreon? But follow us here on Twitch and YouTube. That would be great. Be sure to watch all of the videos.
Our whole back catalog.
Back channel. The whole back catalog, please. Somewhere around 2,100 episodes. Somewhere around that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we are in year 4, the end of the 3rd month of year 4. Pretty exciting times. Anyway, I'm Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and now I'm going to run away, and I'm taking the AI with me. You want to say bye?
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for today's Non Sequitur News. Be back tomorrow for another episode.
See you in a little bit, everybody. Bye-bye.